Hello, this is OnlySemiCoherent, commentating a Let's Play for I Divine Cybermancy. I'm just adjusting the options right now, just looking through my controls, making sure everything's set properly. This is a very odd game. It's deeply flawed in a lot of ways. It has a lot of bad design decisions that have come into it, but it also has a lot of good design decisions that were put into it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm Let's Playing, is because it didn't really get the reception it should have. Right now I'm actually adjusting the difficulty. If you plan on playing this game, you might want to do this yourself. The AI is rather perceptive, and limiting their ability to detect you is recommended if you want to sneak at all. This was just added in one of the latest patches. So, I'm just going to create a character right now. Because, well, we need a character in order to play. This is a sort of RPG, FPS hybrid, almost like the original Deus Ex, but not quite. Not quite as a little more shooter than there is RPG in this. Also, you might notice that some of my buttons are screwed up with the text. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but since I recorded this, I've verified my Steam, and it's done. So, when you create a character, you choose 3 genes for them. This will determine their roles for their stats, which are on the right-hand side. I'm just going through them right now. If you want to actually take a closer look at them, just pause. For me, though, I'm going to go with 3 Hochmach genes, if I remember correctly. Hochmach, or whatever. The one that starts with the H. 3 Metastrum is actually quite interesting, because you can roll a character with only bonuses, and it's pretty fun. So, Hochmach genes make you more accurate, better at medicine, better at hacking, but they reduce your Psi-Force, your strength, and your endurance. However, I'm not going to be using Psi-Force very much, and I'm not going to be using a melee character. So right now, when you click Genetic Fusion, you reroll your character. That's what I'm doing. I'm just looking for good stats. This is actually a fairly good character that I'm going with right now. And you'll see that we start off in a very strange looking place. That would be our character speaking. Also, that language is, interestingly enough, a fake language that is composed of French and Japanese. Very odd place indeed, what with the pillars and all, and the giant glowing Minecraft portal. I've also edited out the loading screens, just because they're sometimes rather long, especially when recording. So, to start off with, I'm going to map my hacking button to my action shortcuts by right-clicking it. You can access your action shortcuts by pressing C. Hermana, shut up. I'm trying to instruct the people on how to play. This is the tutorial menu that pops up. You can access it at any time. There's a mappable button for it. It sort of runs you through stuff, but I'm not really going to use it, and the first time I went through I didn't really use it. That guy looks like us. Yeah, my control layout's a bit weird. Implying I need to jump. Stupid game. So, there's an enemy that's clearly not very intelligent. That is a Manduko. We'll go into more of what that thing actually is a little bit later, when we talk about the Metastromonic Force. So, you have cyber abilities in this game. Oh, look over at the ammo counter. Your ammo is measured in clips, not bullets. So when you reload, you do lose all the bullets that were left in the clip. You have to take that into account when reloading, because that's very tactical. So, you have cyber abilities such as Cyber Jump. Most of them have keyboard shortcuts. For example, Cyber Jump is Control then Space. You don't actually have to map them to your action menu if you remember the keyboard shortcuts. We're gonna attempt to bring a turret up to the person we're meeting up there. Dutch is interesting. He doesn't really like turrets. I think he says they freak him out a little bit. Also, you can take that ladder if you're averse to taking elevators for some reason. Come on. Stupid turret. And here's where I screw up. Sadly, we do not get to see Dutch's reaction to the turret yet. And that's the turret flipping upside down and freaking out. If you haven't figured out already, this was made in the Source engine, but it is by no means a Half-Life 2 mod. Do not get that impression. So, Dutch says, "You're in bad shape." Yeah, no shit. "Listen carefully, we have to flee quickly. The Federation is aware of our presence. They've already deployed policemen to search for you." "How many are there?" "Just a small squad, but don't underestimate them." Yeah. There should also be a contingent of looters, but no one cares about that. And he brought a mobile armory with him, which is quite important. Mobile armories are one of the more fun things in the game to mess around with. Yes, yes, may the Secreta protect you as well, Dutch. I hate you. So, at the mobile armory, we can choose our loadout. We have 3 different armor classes: light, medium, heavy. We're going to go with medium. And we have several different types of guns we can pick. None of this costs anything, though we do have what is called a speed malus, which is how much our equipment slows us down. If that gets to 95 or above, we can't actually load out with the equipment. And we can unlock more weapons as the game progresses. I would say a speed malus of 50 is about as much as you'd want for the most part. So, in here is actually one of the first alternate paths in the game. This is going to be a very long tunnel, and I couldn't speed it up in editing. So, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Why don't you sit down? Have some tea. We'll talk about the recent happenings. I always wondered what that horrible grinding sound is. Like, it sounds almost like a fan, but it can't be it's almost like a helicopter. The weapon we're currently using is actually a rapid-fire shotgun called the Depressador. Oh, it's not really rapid-fire. It's more like semi-auto. 32-round clip. It's actually pretty good. Shotguns in this game don't have the same COD weakness that most shotguns have, where they can't hit shit at distance. Like, yeah. Anyway, this is one of the first alternate paths. We're not going to take it because there's no way to come back up. But basically, if you jump down there, there's another long-ass tunnel, which will take you past all the fighting and through a door that we'll see later. I'll point it out. And now we gotta go back. So yes, this katana that I'm holding right now, you always have that weapon. You can charge it up for a strong attack. It's pretty useful, actually. It's not like it's just some, oh well shit, you're out of ammo, use this. No, you can actually use it pretty effectively if you know what you're doing. There are other melee weapons in the game, though, which are better in certain ways, but as an offhand weapon that weighs nothing, it's actually quite useful. So as I was saying, the Depressador has a 32-round clip, and it can actually hit things at a distance, which is kind of unsettling at first, where you think that, oh wow, enemies with shotguns are going to be able to just rape me at distances, but most enemies actually don't have shotguns, and the ones that do, they won't hit you more so than anyone else will hit you, let's put it that way. Enemies in this game are quite accurate with their guns. Once they see you, they're definitely about as accurate as a skilled player. So, you're going to want to watch out if they do see you. And there's some wildlife right there. A little cockroach. Yes. I killed it. There's also these things. Everyone who's ever seen these has said that they're awesome for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, we're gonna go the main path on this one because it's a little bit more interesting with the combat and everything. So, way the hell down there, I'm not even sure if you can see it through the compression, are some government soldiers. We're going to kill them. Slow my fall a little bit. There they are. My terrible aiming skill aside, this really is a decent gun. Where is he? There he goes. Done. The pistol is also quite accurate, and it's very powerful. Don't think that it's just a regular sidearm. Again, most weapons in this game do have a usage. There's no real completely worthless weapons like you get in some FPSs where you'll pick up a weapon that's just a straight upgrade on things. Most weapons have both advantages and disadvantages. For example, the pistol is relatively powerful and light, but for later at a later point in the game, I don't think it has very good wall penetration, and there are weapons that are more powerful and can fire faster than the pistol and have larger clip sizes, but its main advantage is that it's light. Weighs almost nothing. It's very good. So, we're just gonna jump down here. And I've increased my level. How interesting. So, there's my class up there, my level, my XP bar, my skill points. The auto XP enabled button, do not click that, it will ruin your character. Even the devs say don't click it. They're probably just going to remove it at some point. I'm going to put my 3 points into endurance so that I get a little bit more health. Also, in your very heavy power armor, you do sink in water. You can swim up, but it's not like other swimming. You will find yourself walking along the bottom of watery areas. Not that that's a problem, you do have a lot of breath, but it's a little unusual. So we're going to show off some hacking now. I'm going to attempt to possess this guy. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. You have 5 different viruses you can use for attacking, adding to your defense, lowering enemy defenses, lowering enemy attacks, and then overflow, which is lowers your defense and raises their attack. So as you can see, I managed to possess this guy. I can see from his point of view right now. I could make him attack that guy, but I'm not going to. I was just using it to gain enemy positions. So. And forgetting the shotgun stealth. You also have a lot of health, even in light armor. Which is a good thing, because you do have to face lots of enemies. And now we're going to hack a guy. This is slightly different, because hacking doesn't allow you to take direct control of them, but puts them on your side instead. Yeah, you'll see what that means a little bit later. Actually, it's explained by the game, but... So, that gunshot was that guy shooting his friend, who is now not on his side, he's on my side. The yellow triangle above his head means he's an ally, and he's not going to attack me, and he would in fact probably try to follow me. However, I don't need a follower. That's the door we would have came out of if we took the alternate path. You can't open it from this side, but from the other side it opens automatically. In fact, I never knew about that alternate path until recently. Me and my friend were just sort of screwing around this level when we found it. Also, he might be co-commentating with me later, so... If we do any co-op gameplay, he'll probably be the one shooting me in the back. Oh look, a tutorial on how to hack. Interesting. So I gained another level. I'm going to put those points also into endurance, and I do believe I just put the other ones into strength. Strength reduces speed malice, which means you can carry more equipment, which means you can carry more ammo, which effectively means you have better chances of surviving. So, a pathetically low-level door with half the stats of mine, of my hacking stuff. I'm going to lower his defenses by a lot, and then just wipe him out in one shot. Yes, thank you for opening the door, etc., etc. I am too incompetent to be able to do it. The dialogue in this game is so-so. It was translated rather poorly, so... The game is made by a French studio. And that's France-French, not French-Canadian French. So their English skills, when they were making it, were most likely a little bit below average. Not to say that that's to the detriment, the gameplay still is very good. So we've shown up at IHQ now. This is a sort of hub area where you get most of your missions. And yeah, it tells you what to do. It says, avoid being annoying. I sometimes have trouble with that. If you can't tell the motif of this place by now, I feel sorry for you. What the hell are you looking at? Yes, I have the best training, etc., etc. There's an internal struggle in I between the Culters and the Xians. The Culters wear sort of medieval European armor, like, for example, the Mentor's armor, whereas the Xians wear more Asian-styled armor, like that guy who was looking at me funny later who I was about to shoot in the face. You're on the Culter side, and the conflict between the Culters and the Xians does play a major part in the story. Though currently the Mentor is sending me to go recover my memories from my scrab or whatever, I sent a message to myself. And we are going to talk to everybody I can find right now. In future videos, these parts will be confined to their own video, so you can skip it if you want. This guy tells you about how Cybermancy works, Cybermancy being your cyber powers. He just sort of explains some of the things you can do: jump higher, run faster, be able to cloak, get special sight, resist wounds, things like that. Cybertech powers are... I don't want to say better than Psi powers, but for my playstyle I use them more. They're mostly passive bonuses, aside from the jumping and the running. Your sprinting is also considered a cyber power. And no, you can't just... well, you can just try to specialize in one, but that's not the point. You're going to end up using both, no matter what you do. And in fact, the best way to play is to use both. This guy explains how Psi works, where you can do all kinds of interesting things if you want to specialize into that. Oh no, I'm going to be scared if he tells me. You can summon mirror images of yourself. You can turn your enemies berserk. You can make them implode. You can implode them by teleporting yourself into them. You can do all kinds of insane things. Wait, summon copies. Like this? Yes, you start out with this power, summon weak polyclones. I'm just gonna get rid of them. Polyclones can be useful as sort of decoys. And they can do damage as well, which means you can effectively triple your firepower if you do it right. So, my scrab relator thing. He tells me I recorded a message from myself. And this is me talking to me. My last mission was unsuccessful. We've discovered something during this mission. So, he's going to refresh my memory. Several months ago, Romana chose me to take part in a special operation against the Xians. And... yeah. Basically, the Federation rules, like, thousands of worlds in this game. but they're sort of bloated, and there's several uprisings against them. The Secreta is going to take advantage of that to get rid of them. But the Secreta is by the way, the organization you work for. But their plans to overthrow the Federation are sort of being put on hold by their internal conflict between the Xians and the Culters. And Romana is currently the leader of and he is heavily anti-Xian. Sort of like, he's almost racist about it. And this recorded message basically tells us, don't believe our mentor, believe Romana. Which is a little bit suspicious when you consider the information that we would be given very soon up in the library. Though I'm not going to read through all that. That takes goddamn forever. Romana, shut up, your voice is too loud. So yes, he basically just runs us through on how this whole political situation with the Xians is going. And I'm gonna say, okay, so what's the situation? Basically, the federal counterattack screwed us over real nice, and the Metastromonic Force is still giving us trouble. I was actually founded to get rid of the Metastromonic Force, which will be explained a little bit later. Though, it's been quite a long time since it's been founded. I can't really check the author's website right now, but I do believe it's probably about 100 years at this point since I was founded. So Romana basically tells me he's going to deploy me to New Eden to go take care of, there's a cyber brain that's been stolen or something like that. Anyway, right now though we have to refresh our memory at the archives. Yes, hollow bridges. Very practical and interesting. Not like that could be replaced with stone at all. So, Orianos is a Xian, but you're still relatively nice to him. He asks you if you know about the Metastromonic Force, and you can ask him about it. And he says that it's something like... It's not from any source they can ascertain. But it takes the shape of people's fears and their vices and tries to destroy us. The Manduko, for example, is an incarnation of cannibalism. It likes to eat people. Ah, yes. Bruzufs are money, and you can do research in this game as well. One of the ways of powering yourself up is to do that. Basically, research is, sorry about that. The video audio stream cut off then. It's, research is sort of like gaining passive bonuses for money. It takes a certain amount of time, and then you just gain something. For example, right now I'm researching the medkit. Yeah, there's also an objective screen that we just passed. Sorry, just trying to make sure the audio is going to work and everything. Get another Xian. That guy's in light armor. Over there was the Psi Powers vendor. This guy is just sort of like the librarian. I just need to ask him about recent events, I believe. All those terminals have sort of backstory on the game. This one has all the classes that you can be. Classes are determined by your skills. They don't determine your skills. It's just sort of like a name indicating what you're best at. Over here's the armory where you can unlock new weapons. I don't believe we have enough money to unlock any weapons at the moment, but there are several. And again, each one has its own advantages and disadvantages. Oh, those icons over on the side, the yellow ones. Those indicate the capabilities of the weapon, whether it can penetrate, say, walls, whether it can get headshots, things like that. For the most part, though, it would be as much as you'd expect. High-caliber weapons can penetrate walls. Sniper rifles have a little thing indicating that they have a scope. Stuff like that. Oh, there's also something for armor piercing, I believe. Yes, this guy tells us how to get more research. To find more research to research, you either have to research things, which will unlock more research sometimes, or pick up briefcases during missions that contain research projects. And here's a cybertech vendor. He basically just sells you all these different things. The first one we're probably going to get is eye vision, simply because it's very useful. Cybercloak as well, if possible. I actually attempted to record the next mission after this video today, and I screwed up pretty badly. Let's just say I tried to hack a turret that was way above me, and my head ended up exploding. I'll probably put that into a little blooper reel. Oh, and the research is complete. I never noticed the sound glitching out like that. Or perhaps it's not, and it's just my headphones. Yes, Juan. I'll tell you more about Juan later. For now, he's a dick. Juan likes to make fun of you after each mission and, mention things. So yes, this is the shooting range. I'm just going to redo my loadout because I don't really want to use the shotgun anymore. For the next mission, I want to use the assault rifle. And I misclicked there. Also going to demonstrate how the medkit works, I believe. The medkit is rather heavy. You can use it to heal other people. I was attempting to make it show the health thing, but it doesn't seem to want to work. For now. Normally if you mouse over an NPC, it'll tell you what their health is, whether it's good, full, if they're hurt. You can use left click to heal other people, you can use right click to heal yourself. I don't usually use the medkit because it does take up a lot of weight and I would rather carry around ammo. There's the targets, there's some federal cops, standard stuff, statues, So, let's just get rid of that and go back to reload. You may have noticed the three colored bars. Obviously, one of them is the health bar, that's the red one. The yellow one is your energy bar. Energy is used for casting psi powers, using cyber abilities, sprinting, jumping, basically anything. And the third one is a karma bar, which affects a couple of things. Basically, it's your chance to get a fatal wound when you die. If you die and you have low karma, you can get a fatal wound which permanently reduces the stats of your character, or at least until it permanently reduces them until you research bioregeneration, which is a very late game technology. So it'll essentially just screw your character. And of course, Romana's briefing us on the mission, yada yada yada. People messaging me on Skype. So, we are here outside of New Eden. There's our nice little stealth helicopter. And I think it exploded. So here's our contact, he's gonna brief us on things. Basically, he just tells us, oh hey, there's a bunch of different things you can do. And, yeah. That's about it. He'll also give us a mission to, assassinate a guy, which we will be taking him up on. He recommends that we take a Bosco rifle. We're not going to take that. I'll use it on the next mission, though. For now, we'll have fun with the KA-93. So, one of the alternate paths we could have taken was... is over there. That's an aqueduct. I'm not sure if you can see it. I try to get a good shot of it. You can swim in and get basically right into the center of the main area, but it's kind of like a boring stealth route, so we're going to attempt to take a more exciting one. And we're going to fail at it, of course, because I forgot to super jump here. You can jump this, I just missed it, because I'm retarded. So, there's a guy moving around over there. Use our KA-93 to shoot him real nice. That's actually a scripted thing. It doesn't necessarily mean they actually see you. So first things first, we're going to go assassinate that guy. There are several ways into this building. We're going to take one of the easier ones, which is to climb up here. You can also hack a door on the outside of the building, or go underneath it and take an elevator into it. Excuse me for a moment. I have to order it. So I say I don't have anything personal against him. He offers me money. So I say, how much? And he says, 5,000 bruzovs. And I say, sure, that sounds good. Make bank, son. And then... yeah, there was no real need to keep him alive, and I wanted the XP. But... I gained 5,000 bruzovs. This is the entrance that you could have taken over there by hacking the door. And that console is used for, I believe, some kind of side quest. That guy's not very bright. It was something with the corrupted cop, who we'll talk to later. Although I didn't actually do that fork of the mission, so we don't actually get to see it. We're going to completely ignore what you just said there. So, enemy Scrabulator. Dead. Scrabs can actually be rather formidable enemies because of their lasers and their small size. They can be hard to hit, and they can hit you hard. We will reload. 2 rounds left in the clip, that's not too much of a sacrifice. So. Trust me, I could see through that green fog, it's just YouTube compression made it a little bit iffy. the game does look a little bit better than what YouTube sort of shows. And since what YouTube shows is actually pretty good, that means the game looks very good. When you kill enemies, sometimes they drop ammo. Shut up, Thorn. Sometimes they drop ammo. Yeah, this is the corrupted cop. And that ammo is usually for the weapons that you have equipped. Which means that you're not really going to run short for most weapons, unless you overuse them. So I was attempting to get a mission here, but I think I told them off by accident. Yeah. Oh, that is the terminal. Did I hack? I don't remember. Well, anyway, the other side mission he can give you sends you into here. Don't pay attention to that groaning. This is another very well-hidden area that I didn't know was actually here until recently. And conveniently enough, it links us over to where the relay objective is, so we can, you know. So there's a Mandico. And there's the other one who refused to die after several bullets were put into him for some reason. Normally you end up throwing a package into this fire. And... oh, we're right close to the relay objective. And there's something. I can't even remember what these actually are, but I think they're Federation combat drones. Or Metastromomic Force. Something like that. They're robotic anyway. Though that really doesn't mean anything. There are several robotic Metastromomic enemies, if I remember correctly. So we're going to get a good vantage point for getting rid of this relay. You could just charge in and attack, which is a very viable technique, but I'd prefer to do it a little stealthier. So the relay is actually a scrab-relator, which we are hacking. Boom, done. And they destroyed it, but we're gonna jump down there and kill them. Now there's ledges underneath these things, but I chose poorly in my assault spot. Yeah, I missed them pretty badly. And lost a good 2/3 of my health, but polyclones can help. If they're not being retarded and not attacking. Maintenance is one of the things that you're going to have to do in this game as well. If you end up hurting yourself badly or breaking your legs, which gives you an agility penalty, you can use maintenance to fix it. If you're at a very low health, you can use maintenance. It will recover, I think, up to 30-ish health points. Which means, while you can't recover fully, you can keep yourself alive, even if you're at low health. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let him handle that. He looks like he's going to do fine. And the only disadvantage to maintenance is you can't fire while it's being done. Which, I don't know why you want to, but like, you would assume that when you're doing this you'd be in a nice shielded position. But used up all my energy. crouching actually regenerates your energy faster, so if you ever see me crouching for a long period of time, that's because I'm trying to regenerate my energy. Here is actually one of these times when I deliberately didn't move so that I would regenerate some energy so I could sprint. Okay. Yes, that is the alchemy skill. I think I've used it before. Alchemy allows you to convert an item that's on the ground into health. Sort of like a ghetto med kit. And now, a fun part is coming up. So, watch this. Got him. Okay, so I've possessed a guy who's inside the area I just need to assault. And I turn around... Oh, look, 2 friends. What happens if I make him aim at a target and kill him? I actually possess him, make him shoot one of his friends, but then he gets murdered by the turret. That is very fun to do, and it can come in, you know, very handy if you need to clear out rooms, because you can just repeatedly possess people in the rooms and make them kill each other. Or you can just hack them and have them go nuts, but possessing you can be a little bit more discreet about it sometimes. There was our unfortunate friend. And unwilling ally. Have a turret, bros. Die. So that's probably the simplest objective to open up the elevator. You can just do that. You don't actually have to do all of them like I did, but I just did them all for fun anyway. Also because I enjoyed this map, and you do not actually get to come back to it later until the New Game Plus. And this area over to... Do I turn to it? No, yes I do. That's where you would have come in if you came in through the aqueduct. So you would have ended up right here. You can jump over the fence with super jump. There's also a guy over here who's a little bit weird. He mentions that you're standing on a graveyard. And I believe this is a reference to something, I'm not entirely sure. So I kill him anyway, I believe. Yup. So yes, my apologies if the audio is desynced in the second half of this video at all. It should only be by maybe a couple milliseconds, but it could get a little bit annoying. This is the first area, the tutorial of and the next video should be coming up soon.